All right, I'm in the little Chevy Bolt right now, and as you can see, it says I've got 100 miles of range left. Now, I fully charged it today, and we drove over to California, Pennsylvania, and here we are back home. And there's the mileage that we started with, and I mean that it got on it today, which is 219 miles we've driven, and it says we've got 100 miles left. And so I think it did pretty good. Now it is summertime, and you can see it says it's 70 degrees sitting here in my garage where I got back, and I'm plugged in now with my charge cord connected, and it's going to charge it back up. But this is what I just plugged it in, and I thought, well, maybe I better get this on video so I'll have it for posterity. So anyway, we know that it had 238 miles of range supposedly to begin with. They put the new battery in it, and it was supposed to be 259 miles, and I think it's going to do even better than that, to tell you the truth. And that's it. Thank you. Oh boy. Okay, so today is August the 18th, 2022, and as you can see, looking down, I got 333 miles registered on the GOM. We have 55,656 miles on the car. We have never done anything whatsoever to the car. We bought it new in 2019, so we've had it over 3 years. What day?
May in 2019.
Yeah, in May of 2019 is when we bought it. All we ever did was take it in for them to do the battery. They put a new battery in it, supposedly. Well, I don't know. Anyway, we wasn't there and watched them. And so here it is, and this is going to be part of this next YouTube video that I'm going to be making, but I want you to see what this is, and I'll zoom in it again when we get up to Clarksburg, West Virginia. Okay, here we are in Clarksburg, and it says 257 miles, and the odometer says 55,713, and it looks like we have come 56.1 miles here, and let's see. 11.8 kilowatts. I was looking for the part that showed you how many. We didn't use the climate settings. Well, there's all of the stuff on it. 8 miles per kilowatt hour, what it's saying. Well, I don't know what all that means, but anyway, there it is. Okay, here we are back home now. It says we've got 231 miles left, and we've got 55,773 on the odometer down there showing now. We've gone 116.5 miles and on this trip today, and it says we've used 24.5 kilowatts. Now I went on and reset my charge level to 80%, which is right here now, and so that would be 75, 70, so 65% of my charge is still on there after we've got this. And it says our projected range now is 290 miles. Well, maybe, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's a whole lot better than the 238 that we were supposed to have when we got it, because if you look at that 116 and 231, you know, that'd be what, 339 miles? Or what,
Yeah.
37 miles, right? So anyhow, gives you some kind of an idea what the little car is doing. And like I said, we haven't had a bit of problem out the car, and it has worked perfect for us. And that's it until the next one. Okay, today is November the 2nd, 2022. Now I want to do this video on this little Chevy Bolt that we have here. And as you can see here in the back, we got all this room. Now I fixed the thing where I took out that piece of whatever. Here's the thing with our little electric motorcycle that we have, and here's our electric go-kart here. And I built this one out here, and I just recently changed the top on it from what my video one there looks like, as you can see. And so it's electric as well. And I got a plug right here that I can use to, I put this out here with 110 that I can use to plug that in. And I got a 220 outlet as well, which I can plug in my charger if I have to leave it set outside overnight. Or I've had to back my car in sometimes and still wanted to charge it, so I put another, as you can see right there, NEMA plug there, and I can run it from there over to my car just fine, and it works okay. Now, like I was saying, in my car here, I've got 232 miles on it. So I got plenty of charge to do anything we need to do. Most of the places that we go are well within the range of us going there and getting back. I'm going to open this lid up here. So I think I did this a while ago and forgot to push the button down. Oh, I think it didn't do, so I'm going to do it again. I'm 78 years old now, and I'm forgetful too. Like I say, this is a 3,000 watt inverter that it's a pure, as you see, pure sine wave power inverter, and I've just got it hooked up to my battery. Got a bungee cord holding it in, and it has two outlets on the side, which I took this wire I made up, and it's got two plugs to plug in to it right there. And then I unhook my welder over here where it's plugged in with this plug I've got here, this NEMA plug here. And I plug this in here into it. And when I do, it powers our whole house. And so I just leave it sitting here because I never know when the power is going to go off. Now I have powered our house for one time 2 days. Now it's a few hours usually, and that the power's out, and you can't even, well, maybe like 6, 8, 10 miles is missing. But I run it, that I looked at. I ran it one night, and the next day had used like 70 some miles off of my odometer. And so when the power came back on, I just plugged it back in. But yeah, like I said, you have to turn off the main fuse panel in the house. Let me show you here. You turn off this main fuse panel button right here, and it turns off all the power in the house. when you turn it off, but yet I can plug in the inverter out there and it'll send power through everything in the whole house. If I turned it back on, it would send that power out on the street. So with the power's out and I put power into it, somebody out there working would they get fired up pretty good. So you got to make sure that you turn off the power on the main breaker in your house before you hook up that inverter. If you do that, you have no problem. Now the car itself, you have to turn the key on, otherwise it'll drain the battery, that little 12-volt battery under the hood, and it won't last very long. As soon as it drains that little 12-volt battery, your lights and stuff will go off. So in order to keep that battery charged, you turn the car on. And let's let the car stay on the whole time. And the main battery in the car will keep charging the little battery, and that's where you're drawing the power from, the little battery, not the big battery out the car itself. The power's coming off of that little tiny battery underneath there, so it doesn't affect the car whatsoever. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. But it works for me. I had used it over the years. I've used it a lot of times on every kind of car you can think of. I have powered our house. At one time I had extra batteries in this metal cabinet I have here. I had extra batteries sitting in there, and I powered them up and kept them charged, and then I went to using the car to doing it. So it works a whole lot better than having to run a generator. Now this little go-kart, I bought it with a gasoline engine, 3.5 horsepower, and boy was it noisy. And I didn't like the noise in it. So I bought this 15 horsepower electric motor and stuck on the back of it. And it really does a job now. It'll run us around up to about 30 miles an hour the way I have it geared. And it'll climb hills and all sorts of stuff. It does a good job. And don't make very much noise. And that's what we wanted. Like my electric weed eater here from Ryobi, I've had for about 5 years now. Works perfect. Never had a bit of a problem with it. And I got, blower, because I got electric weed eaters there as well. And so people's on the internet, why I wanted to make this video, because people's on the internet talking about don't buy an electric car, don't do this, don't do that. And why? Do they own one? Do they know what it really costs? Have you investigated it yourself to see? I mean, we got a serious climate control problem out there right now. And I think we all need to do our part in order to get through this mess that we're going through. You can sit back and say, well, you know, it's not my problem, it's not my fault, and a whole lot of things, but yet it is your problem. You have to live here. We all have to live here. And see, this beautiful country here in West Virginia. I'm not from here. My mother was, but I'm not from here. But when I retired from driving a truck, I bought property here, and we had this double wide house trailer, which I have right here. Moved in. I built onto the front, the side, the back, and all sorts of places all over the house. And now we've got a good sized little house here, I guess you could say. And there's nobody here but me and my wife. And we got a reverse mortgage on it in 2011. We bought it in 2000 and we paid payments on it up through 2011 when we got a reverse mortgage on it. And since then we haven't had a house payment. And we've lived here basically for nothing. And so, yeah, we got a little back porch here, and there's Trouble, our cat. He sits up there and begs for food all the time, and we bring it out to him. But I think he's got my wife trained more than anything. So that's that's the car. The car has been a real good car. And, oh yeah, let me see how many miles we got on it. I can show you here what it says on the odometer. Right now is 58,656 miles. And it's fully charged, and you can see where the bar is on it at 80%. And it has been perfect. We have done nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. But now I did buy tires for it. Had about 35,000 miles on it, I think, when I bought tires. And I kept them because they didn't look that bad. Matter of fact, most of them had lines, good lines on them, but I thought, well, you know what? They've been out on the road for 35,000 miles. It's about time that I did something. What I'm doing here is this one battery didn't want to charge. It was on my charger, didn't want to charge. And what happens when you run some of these batteries, this is a Black & Decker 40 volt. And when you run some of them batteries, they run down where they won't charge. So if you hooked two of the batteries together, as you see I have them, leave them set like that overnight, they'll equalize each other and then they'll charge. That's a thing I learned a while back, but it works just about every time when that battery won't charge like that. And so now I'm going to go in the house and get the paperwork out and show you the paperwork. Pretty close to this almost every month that goes by. We bought this house in 2000 and had it put out here, and we got on the electric company on their budget, and it was like $68 a month in the year 2000 when we bought it. Now, it had been that way for a while. When we got the car, it was pretty much like it is right now. We can't tell much of a difference in what we was paying and what we are paying now because, well, we had the Nissan Leaf, but we wanted a car with more range, so I got the Chevy Bolt and 2012 model, and then we ended up getting this Chevy Bolt, a 2019 model when it came out. Now, as the battery came with a warranty on it, and Chevy ended up, as I did a video already on, replacing the battery. And here is a copy of my battery warranty claim and what it says about it. And you can see right here where we had taken it to Clarksburg, West Virginia at Harry Green Chevrolet to have them put the Okay, here is my warranty tracker on the new battery, and as like I said, you can see we got 58,252 miles last week when I updated it on 10/24. Well, we got a few more miles on it this week now, as you've seen. I already showed you. Now here's the where we bought it from, Larry, a Chevrolet Buick in Rittman, Ohio. There's their sales and service numbers. If you want to pause this and write them down and ask about it and all that stuff, whatever. I haven't been back up there since we bought the car. Now it says the expiration mileage is 144,181 miles, which leaves us 85,929 miles left of warranty on our battery and on our powertrain. And that is going to expire time-wise on 12/1/2029. So it's an excellent warranty. Now, and the battery when we bought the car was supposed to have 238 miles on it. Well, we got an additional, I think, 20 miles or so on it since they put that new battery in it. And so you can see again some of the component limited warranty, the EV component limited warranty. Some of it expires at 100,000 miles, and as you see, it says I got 41,000 miles left, or 4 years, 5 months, and 19 days remaining, and the corrosion warranty, and so on and so forth. And so it's an excellent warranty, I think. And if you're concerned about a battery, well, I had that Leaf we put on. It had, I think, right at 48,000 miles when we sold it, and it still had 12 bars all the way filled up. So we never had a problem with our car. Of course, now most of the time we don't drive 70 and 80 miles an hour because we get on the interstate from time to time, and you will drive that speed. But when you do, it cuts down your fuel mileage. So you have to stop more frequently for electric fill-ups, I guess. And usually, if I'm not running the air or the heat, it like I said, it gets about 5 or better miles to a kilowatt hour, which is really, really good, I think. And for running the heat or the air conditioning, it'll drop down to about 3.1, 2, somewhere around in there. And anyway, we have this, I got this paper here that has our stuff on it, with our name and all that good stuff. But here is our electric bill. And as you can see, it's $112 is what our bill is for November the 16th, 2022. Now, this is what it runs just about every month. Now, yeah, the bill was probably a tiny bit more than that, but I guess a budget or whatever. But that's what it's been running. Now, when we first bought this home, our light bill was running somewhere around $68 a month, I think it was, and stayed that way for a long time. But it started creeping up, but since we've had this electric cars, we can't tell the difference, because there you go. Now, how much gas would I have bought in this 58,000 miles? If you do the math on it, and 20 miles to the gallon, that's a bunch of gasoline that we'd had to buy. Whole bunch of gasoline that we haven't had to buy. And not only that, how many oil changes would I have had to have? I changed the oil in my gasoline vehicles at 3,000 miles, so 3,000 into 60,000 is what, 20? And so how much does 20 oil changes cost you that I didn't have? And no mufflers to have to buy, and no antifreeze to have to deal, no nothing. We have done nothing with the car but drive it, go out there and get in it and drive it. And we keep it at 80%, so it keeps the battery in nice shape. We had the Chevy Bolt, and but it only had 35 miles of electric range, and sometimes we got 45 out of it. But it was limited on the electric range, and I had to buy gas. And I didn't like the idea of having to go to the gas station every other week. They're going up and down on the prices. And then you get up there and look like somebody's looking over your shoulder trying to read your card or get to your card and all that craziness. Now, going to the charging stations is pretty much a pain, I think. But, yeah, they're high priced, they're undependable, but we charge at home where we live, and we don't hardly go anywhere. Now, we went to Myrtle Beach from here. I got a video on that on there, where we went down to Myrtle Beach and we put 1,400 miles, I think it was, on the car, and went to all them charging stations, never had a problem. And we had, some of the stations were free and all that. But to me, that's a hassle. I don't even want to have to deal with that mess. So, whatever. We charge at home all the time. And our rate is about 12 cents a kilowatt. Out there on some of them charging stations, it's probably 60 cents a kilowatt. Plus they want to charge you this, that, and the other. And you could come away from one of them charging stations and spend a good little piece of money if you don't watch out. And so if you have to constantly go to a charging station, well, right now it's not such a good deal. But if you're going to charge at home and drive your car if you're going to work and come back and do this and that, like I said, if we go to Parkersburg, which is 40-something miles from here, and they got a Cheddar's down there. We go down there to eat, and we go to the Lowe's down there, and so on and so forth. And altogether, our trip down there and back is about 85, 86 miles. And then we go up to Cabela's and in Wheeling. Our trip up there is about 60 miles one way. And they got basically the same thing there, but they got a big area up there that you can use. My wife likes to go shopping at the Walmart up there because of the aisles are so big, and they usually have everything that the Walmart here doesn't have. And so once a month we drive up there and she shops at Walmart. And that's 60 miles up and 60 miles back. But when you're 78 years old, what difference does it make? We don't have nothing else to do anyway. And I don't want to put all my money in the gas tank and keep some oil company executive driving around in a Mercedes and doing what he's doing. I mean, that's fine if that's what you want. I don't want to do that. And anyway, as you can see, like I said, there's the figures, and $112 a month is our electric bill. Now I got right there, you can see through the door, I got a freezer sitting there on the porch. We got a big old double door refrigerator freezer in the kitchen. I've got this computer that's got 8 cores in it. My wife's computer has 6 cores in it. I got another one up underneath here that has 6 cores in it. And we got air conditioning if we need it. We got heat. We got whatever. And it ain't like we're living in some backwoods shack somewhere that don't have nothing, because we definitely got everything we want. Here's a trash compactor. Let me turn the light on. Now, I drove to North Carolina to buy this trash compactor, all the way down there just to buy a trash compactor. Why? Because we went to Lowe's down there in Parkersburg, and they didn't have one. And if I ordered it, it would be a $1,200 or $1,300 for this same one, and I had to wait 6 months to get it because it was on back order. There's our dishwasher, stove, microwave, our refrigerator, freezer, you know, and my wife's under-counter little TV. I mean, it's not like we're living out in the sticks here, off-grid and not having nothing and all that. And here's our little gas fireplace that I told you we use whenever we have to have heat in the house, and I'm running off of the inverter on the car. This fireplace warms our whole house because it's well insulated. Up on here, I got a 60-inch TV. As you can see, it's right here in my living room on the wall. And right next to it, I got 16 cameras up around my house. And it runs 24/7, security cameras. We got ceiling fans in here. I mean, we're not sitting up here in a house that don't have nothing in it and all that. And we still only had a $112 a month electric bill, driving our electric car. And you see the miles we've put on it. So there's no lying and there's no putting on about this stuff. Here it is, plain as the hand in front of your face, if you will. My wife has her little study here, and if you look back, and turn your light on a second, she's got a tanning bed back there that she uses practically every day because she has eczema, and it helps her. And there she has a barber chair sitting in here that she uses to cut my hair and stuff with. This is her little, what you would call she cave instead of man cave. And there's her computer that she's sitting here working and doing her stuff on, and out copy machines, and I mean,
It's a nice neighborhood.
and we live in a, you know, not real expensive, but it's a nice little subdivision here, and this is West Virginia. And a lot of people have had a lot of negative things to say about it, but that's my wife's office in there. It's a sunroom. We've got our living room, and we got our bedroom here. This is a little kitchen we hardly ever eat in because we usually sit at the chair and eat in here. And we've got 2 bedrooms back there, and our bedroom back here has got a ensuite with it. That bedroom there has an ensuite, and then we got another bathroom in there. So that's 3 bathrooms that we have in this little house with 2 of us. And so, like I said, do not let these people fool you. There's a thing that she keeps the cat's food in right there that rolls around. These people are going to tell you anything and everything because they want to do what the oil companies want them to do. They're under the oil company's demise or control or whatever. And don't let that happen to you. Buying an electric car, in my opinion, will save you a boatload of money, I think. Because if we hadn't have bought it, I ain't no telling how much we'd have had to spend since we've been here. So you think about that. Now I've showed you the thing where the battery's under warranty from Harry Green Chevrolet, who did the warranty work on it. I showed you our light bill. I showed you the warranty tracker, everything. And now these people are going to get on YouTube and they're going to put anything and everything on there they want to put on there to get you not to buy an electric car. Oh, it's so-and-so this and it's so-and-so that. Well, don't buy one then. You want to listen to their lies and keep on throwing your money away, then do that. But GM has stood behind the battery. We filed a claim to get another car. And we was going to turn this one back in. But GM called us and they said that they could give us a brand new battery. And I said, okay, you're not going to wait another 6 months on it because I don't want to have to be walking up and down my driveway to get in and out my car. And that's why I had that plug I put out there. So when they said we couldn't charge them inside the house, I charged it out there. And outside on my driveway. Because I didn't want to bring it in the house because they instructed us not to. And so they was good about it. I mean, it could have happened to anybody. I mean, this is all new technology we have. Like right now, all them Teslas, they say, are catching fire in Florida because they've been underwater and stuff. I don't know about all that. I know about what we have. I ain't had a bit of problem out of our car. Not the first. Now, you can think, well, he got an exceptionally good one, and somebody can say that all you want, but I don't think so. I think I got an average car, and I think GM did an awesome job on it. And I want to leave you with that. Okay? So I'm going to close this now. Thank you.